Hey, it's Clayton and Jack, and in this video we're going to talk about the number one thing he's dying for you to reveal. So what is this? What is the number one thing that men really want to see in women? That when they're able to reveal this, when they're able to show it, his heart starts to sing. He starts to realize that he's actually with the right person. He starts to see you as an irreplaceable, priceless, precious human being. What is it?
Wow. I think it's your essence.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
That's worth unpacking. By essence, we mean the real you. We mean the uniqueness that is you, right? Because if you strip everything back, stop playing games, stop performing, there is something about you that is unique to you.
Yeah.
Your gifts, the way you look, the way you talk, the way you move, the way you think about the world, your unique experiences, your background, even the difficult and crappy things about your background. There is a uniqueness to that and your journey and path.
Yes. Yeah, and I want to say too that there's a video that I created a little while back called The 7 Roles That Women Play, and in some ways this video is the answer to that question. So we're talking about how we tend to slip into personas when we get scared or when we're trying to control things. You might slip into the persona of being the helpful one, or the persona of being the controller or the businesswoman, making things really transactional. I'll include the link in the description that you can go watch that video. And there was a number of women asking this question. Well, who should I be then? Who should I be?
If I'm not this, and I'm not that, and I'm not this, and I'm not that.
Right. Then who am I? How should I show up?
Wouldn't it be great if you could get curious about that, right? So it's sort of like if you start, another way of talking about personas is masks, right? So if you unmask, you take those masks off, what actually is there? You might not have been in much contact with what is there. It might feel scary and unknown, but that's actually what we want to encourage you into, because we're here to say that there is an unknownness at the heart of you. There is a mystery to who you are that is captivating to a man when you reveal it, because most of the time we're just not revealing that, right? We're kind of chit-chat up here, masks talking to each other, performances, roles, and we're saying, wow, if you drop that, there's this precious space that can open up between you and a man where he actually gets to experience the real, unfiltered, unmediated, unmasked you. Right. And it might feel a bit naked, but we're saying that essence of you, that essence of your nakedness, so to speak, psycho-emotionally, is what is really the thing he's dying for you to reveal.
And I'm going to add some dimension to that. This is why he wants it so desperately. Just think about it like this. When you go to a party or you have certain friends, isn't it true that when you meet somebody or you have someone in your life who you know fully owns who they are and fully is showing up as themselves, doesn't that allow you to feel more free to be yourself?
Yep.
So what would make that any different than with the guy that you're dating? If you're able to show up as your true self and you're able to own who you are, in some ways it gives the guy permission to feel like he can let down his guards, his persona.
Which he wants to do, right? He wants to relax with you. He
fully
wants to
be himself with you,
yeah.
right? And isn't it true too that we want to find relationships in which we can feel like we're fully ourselves?
Totally.
Rather than having the exhausting carrying of this weight of a persona that just seems like we're trying to keep up appearances.
Totally.
Like those relationships don't last because they take too much energy putting on a pretense.
Yeah, and ultimately you kind of become disconnected from yourself. You forget who you are. You kind of start going through the motions.
Start losing yourself in relationships.
Right, so that's kind of deadening versus the aliveness of being yourself and becoming more of yourself, right? It's not sort of like one day you're like, oh, cool, now I'm myself. This is a process of becoming. It's a process of getting to know yourself more, getting quiet with yourself, experiencing yourself in different ways and dimensions. And that's one way to talk about a really healthy relationship, right? Is that you get to be yourself.
Yep.
Be loved for who you are, and be with someone in these different domains of who you are, right? You know, I happen to know that Clayton's got a super playful side because, you know, I helped him develop it. You know, actually, when you hang out enough in different contexts, you start to dimensionalize who you are. Yeah. And that's a really important thing.
Yeah, and to that point, with certain people, certain sides of you come out. So when you're around people that all of the sides of you can come out, that's real freedom. That's experiencing real freedom in a relationship. So listen, we are coaches, and in this video, what we're wanting to do here is give you a little bit of coaching, because you might be wondering, okay, well, hey, this is a phenomenal concept, or maybe you don't like the concept at all, but hang with us here, because we've got some questions that we want you to maybe pause the video and just journal on, ask yourself, because the key is that these questions are the path to beginning to unlock your essential self by helping you identify perhaps where you go unconscious and where you begin to open up and feel more like who you really are.
Totally.
So what's the first question?
Yeah, I'm going to take the first couple actually.
Okay,
So,
cool.
the question number one, where and when do you most feel yourself? So just think about that for a moment. When do you most feel that you can relax into who you are, be yourself, not pretend to be someone else? And then the second question, which kind of puts this in the reverse, is when and where do you most feel that you're not yourself, or that you're not at all yourself? Right? Maybe there are specific situations, maybe there are specific types of people, but just notice that. Notice where you start to get far away from being yourself.
Pause this video if you need to, just to take a few moments and actually contemplate that. And once you've done that, come back and let's talk about the next two questions. So where in life, in what contexts, in what situations do you feel that you have the hardest time saying no? Where do you feel that you have the hardest time saying no? Okay, and then the opposite time is, or the opposite question here is, where do you have the hardest time saying yes? Where do you have the hardest time saying yes? And just think about that. Is there certain people that you have a hard time saying yes to? Is there certain situations where you have a hard time saying yes to yourself? Journal about this. Write this down. It'll help you get a more dimensionalized look at the places that you're shutting down and the places that you're opening.
And then the fifth question's a little different. What would it take for you to view your failures or challenges as opportunities to learn?
Yeah.
What would it take for you to view your failures and challenges as opportunities to learn? Because part of being yourself, you might notice, is about trusting the path that you've been on up until now. Even the dead ends, the heartbreak, the loneliness, the trauma, whatever it is that you've experienced, that has been part of the formation of you. It doesn't define you, but those things can allow you to, they've what brought you to this moment, to be the person that you are, to have the awarenesses, the pain, everything that you have. That is part of being you. It doesn't define you.
And so we're talking about the past there a bit, right? Of being able to find some acceptance around the past things you've been through and put yourself in a creator role and the role of learner rather than feeling like a victim. And then even looking forward into the future. Where are you and what will it take for you to be able to see all the challenges that are to come as opportunities to learn? So that way...
Kind of like not fearing the future.
Not fearing the future.
So trusting you can handle it.
Exactly, because otherwise, this is what we see happen, is that when we're suddenly faced with something that we feel out of control with, or we're faced with something that seems like it could lead to failure or a mistake, we slip and we go hide back into a role again. But if we start to see these challenges and opportunities that we're moving forward into as ways that we can grow and learn from, we are saying yes to some of the inevitable pain that we may experience and still connected to ourselves rather than divorcing and then trying to hide and avoid that from happening.
Right, totally. So thanks for staying with us in this. We hope these questions have been useful for you. Obviously, take them forward. They're not just like one time in this moment. They're questions that you can continue to journal and allow to kind of percolate in your life. And if you're a woman that's wanting a relationship and that hasn't been showing up for you, we want to encourage you to come to our webinar.
It's called the 3 Keys to Attract and Keep a High Quality Man. And in it, we cover 3 keys that really are designed to help you shed the layers of inauthenticity and step more into your vulnerability, more into who you really are, which is really where you're going to find your power and your personal power in dating and relationships.
So if you like that, if you're intrigued at all, just click the link below this video, find a time that works for you in your time zone, and we will look forward to seeing you there.